race that morning.
The whole band?
The idea was that when I turned 40, we were going to, I've been running for a year or so, trying to, work on everything else, and so I did a 4.0 run that ended at that stage, and I got out and I played at noon to start the show, and then all day long people kept coming up and playing there, and then by midnight was when you were watching us eat the cake and jump all around and play High Hill Country Rain Forever there. That was the culmination of that whole day, so it was a long day. Those shorts, yes, I do not know. They were corduroy and they were yellow, but they've been washed so many times they're faded. My legs look good there.
Yeah, look great.
Jeff,
yes.
did you ever run into Bojangles after you wrote the song?
No, I never did. That was one thing I always wondered. Could he be someplace? Let's see, I must have ran into him about 64, somewhere along in there, 65. And by 70, the Dirt Bench was the biggest hit. He could have been somewhere where it was playing in a bar, or he might have been. It crossed my mind, but would he have put all the pieces together? He probably would have remembered. Yeah, come think of it. I always thought he kind of went, good job.
So other than you, who was your favorite performance of Bojangles?
There's a recording by Nina Simone.
Wow.
I went to a black radio station on the east side of Austin. They were doing a cross-cultural thing, and they invited different people to come in and DJ for an hour or so. And I went over there, and I was kind of pulling through their records to find something I could play that I could say, this is something I like and this and that. I pulled out Nina Simone. I always liked her work. I looked at the back and said, Mr. Bojangles. So I played it, and it's a whole different version. She does it like she's calling up a dream. And I said, yeah. It was very interesting to hear her do it. So that's, other than that, it's been pretty much the same way. Okay.
What songs are you going to play for us at Gillies?
Talk to Susan, that'll cost.
Well, in that movie, I saw something about a bucking machine and...
Yeah, why Gillies? It's sort of like...
Those guys have been pretty good to Django and me. We played over there one New Year's Eve, and it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, they're nice guys.
What's the story behind LA Freeway, please?
Guy Clark had been working out in LA as a set designer. Guy can do anything. Builds guitars, he's an artist, he paints, he does stuff. He'd been doing set designing, and he also was a very good guitar player, but he hadn't written anything yet. And the story he told me was the land, he said everything was concrete. But he said in one little crack of the driveway, this wonderful little plant was growing up through it. And he came along and sprayed that thing. The guy said that was about the point where he snapped. We're out of here, we're going home. That's where Dirt Road Backstreet probably come in there. I wanted to go someplace where it's overgrown and it looks okay. So anyway, he dashed off that song, it's him and Susanna. And, okay, anything else?
I can't resist asking you this. Thank you so much for spending your time here. When I was growing up in Amarillo, Texas, I idolized you and Guy Clark and Towns Van Zandt and John Prine and had a country band. And I would ride around with my grandpa, and we would pass through Archer City, Texas, and I'd see the Green Frog Cafe, and I'd say, there it is. That's the Green Frog Cafe. And he'd say, no, I think it's the one over in Alney that he's singing about. So we'd go over to Alney, and I'd say, well, there it is. And he'd say, no, I think it was in Umbarker. That must have been the Green Frog. And so my entire life, I have driven around looking at Green Frog cafes, and I can't help but ask, where is it?
I'm going to say, he told me one time, I think it's in Monahans, Texas.
Whoa.
That's where, it was actually, as he tells the story of Desperados Waiting for a Train, guy said, it was a lot like, his story was like me going to town with my grandpa. That's how I identified with it. Well, he said Jack Kittrell was a guy who was his grandma's boyfriend. And he was an oil driller. And he, on his off time, had time enough to take a guy to town to do the same thing, you know, to hang around and play dominoes and just kind of do those kid things with an older guy. And he, I was going to say, I'd call a guy right now. He can figure this up off this draw. Well, I know, let's just see. I just talked to him a little while ago. He's had a knee surgery and he's recuperating from it. And let's see what happens when we come. Can't be to bed yet. Guy Clark. Guy?
Yeah.
Jerry Jeff. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We're at this film festival in Dallas.
It's a question for you.
And I was asked a question. Where's the Green Frog Cafe?
Well, there was one in Monahan, where I grew up, where I was born. That's the one that's in the song. You know, I'm given to understand that there are several other ones around Texas.
He said Archer City.
Yeah, there may be one there.
Okay, so the one you're thinking of was in Monahan.
It seems like there seems to be a common name for bars.
Okay. All right, well, thanks for answering that question. I love you. Modern age we live in. That's been asked a lot over the years, and I don't remember how that came in my thing, but I kept, because people always said, I know the one he's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Is Django for Django Reinhardt?
Yes. It was one of those things where you have to kind of name the boy. Susan said when we sent the birth certificate, it said Django Walker for the little gypsy and all of us. So he's up in Nashville trying to be a real professional songwriter now that he's kind of done the Jerry Jeff route. Tired of putting them out himself and playing all those places. Anyway, he's having a good time with it.
Is there another great hit over the horizon that you've got in development for us?
I don't know. We played one at my birthday party last weekend in Austin. It was called Old New Mexico, and it's really about trying to go back in time and find yourself where you used to be, and it's not there. And it's not there because you weren't there. And while you're there, it's not what you thought you'd be when you got there. And then, but nothing remains. It's kind of, there's a little interesting bridge where it goes to an old Indian who kind of stand against the wall, says that all this will pass. The only thing that remains is the earth. So
Sounds great.
it will blow away like the wind. Then we play this windy thing, and then it's kind of we work at civilization trying to, I don't know what we do. We kind of build it up and then tear it down, and then we knock it over and then we blow it up, and the earth just keeps on spinning. Although it did kind of knock itself off its axis there a little bit. But. So, love the one you're with, hold on tight, you know, kiss the babies, and
Always trust your cape.
always trust your cape. Okay, we'll leave it going. Thank you.